Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna rip news headlines, and we're gonna talk about them. Ready?
Go. I don't know a lot of the headlines he's gonna rip. Go.
Okay. Canada election 2015. Stephen Harper confirms the start of an 11-week federal campaign. Thoughts?
I think it's very clever that he
Clever.
would make it a long campaign. It's the
But
longest.
it's still a dick move.
Yeah. It's the longest in the history of Canada. It's clever
Twice
because
as long as
it
normal ones.
benefits Stephen Harper.
Yeah,
because
they're
they
making
have
the most money.
They have because the
Banks.
donations from corporations. They have all this money, so over it's like an 11-week period. They can stretch that money out where the other parties cannot.
Yep. But I think, like I was saying before, we were talking about this, I think, like a week ago or something, but I think anybody would have been doing this.
Oh yeah, the people are going to use
And
their.
if you were in there, they'd be doing this too. And
If they had the opportunity.
I don't have any qualms, but because like it's the conservative party.
I do have qualms. I have qualms.
Let's hear 'em.
Let's hear it. Because it's the Conservative Party and they have such a history of slimeball moves. I mean, how many of them are in court right now and or prison?
Yeah, I
and
know,
or
I'm
have
saying-
quit or lost their jobs over scandal.
I'm saying if it was anybody else, I would have no qualms, but because it's them,
Yeah.
qualms.
So to me, it's like this is like they're already stealing from you. They're already robbing you. They're already doing these policies that benefit the corporate class at the expense of me and you and everyone that's watching this show. Don't kid yourself. We're not rich. So they do these things at the expense of us, and we just allow it. And it's not like they're not getting caught. Half of them are in jail. How much do we need to take?
Yeah.
From this Stephen Harper's, even if you're a conservative, you should have a problem with what they're doing.
You would think.
But they don't.
No.
They continually
They're just
defend
so
them.
used to that.
How many of these people need to get arrested and need to be found out to be criminals for people to change their tone? And now they're using
I
tax
don't know.
money, $100 million. This is going to cost Elections Canada to stretch this out. That's mine and your money being used to benefit the Conservatives, which is a benefit to the corporate class and not us. They're using our money to instill policies that do not help us.
Yeah.
Next.
Okay. How Blue Jays trade deadline went down this week.
I should have worn my Jays hat. I thought it went down fantastic. I
Oh,
loved
so
it.
excited. Excited for Blue Jays
We
baseball.
We added Tulowitzki. We
David
added
Price.
David Price. Ben Revere, good leadoff guy. And Mark Lowe, the reliever. At
Yeah.
the expense of a bunch of young guys, Daniel Norris
11
a lot of
minor
young
league
guys.
pitchers. That's a lot.
And we lost Jose
That's-
Reyes.
Yeah, but screw him.
Be gone.
Man, that just scares me. That's a lot of pitchers
Yeah.
for next year.
Especially
Especially if we're losing Price too.
Yeah, but it's all about now. It's about in the now.
Yeah.
Do I think that they can make the playoffs? Yes, they have the team to make the playoffs. They're in the playoffs if it starts today. Do I think they will make the playoffs? Not with John Gibbons as a coach. Nope.
Yeah.
He's the one. He's a 500 coach. That's it. I bet you at the end of the season they'll still be hovering around 500.
Yeah. He's the definite
It's not enough.
black mark on the team. The batting is
Fantastic.
not an issue. The pitching is a question mark.
That-
Even with guys like David Price, that
Even
blows
with-
my mind.
But that comes down to the playoffs.
Because you got guys like Hutchinson in there. That's
Okay, in the playoffs, you're gonna have 4 pitchers pitch. Hutchinson we might be able to get rid of him. He's got a 10-2 record, which is great, but his
Don't let
ERA
that
is
fool
like
you.
at 5.
He gets 8 runs of. I think it's like it's a record since like the 70s.
Yeah.
He gets 8 runs a game of support.
Yeah, even he pitched yesterday and they won, or
They
2
won
days ago and they won 9-7 or something.
That
like
was last night.
yeah, 9-7.
That's insane.
Yeah, and he gave up like. But so you have David Price as your ace, and then you've got guys like Burley, who I love, Dickey, me, and
hate Dickey.
Estrada as your 4th guy, or Stroman if he comes back. It's not a deep enough starting rotation to compete with guys like the Cardinals or the Royals or the Giants.
Right, but we've got a better chance than we did
Yes.
a week ago, and it's exciting.
And I like that AA, the Alex Anthopoulos, is making attempts to try to get new players in the building.
Yeah, you need that
connections.
You need that in your
So
GM.
a fantastic deal.
Yeah, I'm excited. Everyone's excited for Blue Jays baseball. They're 7-3. It's gonna keep rolling.
Since
Here we go.
the trade deadline.
Yeah.
What's next?
Okay. Yeah, I like this one. Meek Mill versus Drake.
All right, let's hear it.
The worst rap beef in rap history.
All I know is that Meek Mill uses too many emojis, and that some
Exactly.
people got shot up at a Drake concert the other
Yeah,
night.
for a guy who like prides himself, Meek Mill, as like the hardest guy in rap, and
Does he?
like, oh yeah, he's always like on the real. Well, they're all like that, but like he's on
Not
Twitter.
Chad.
He's on
Aesop Rock.
Twitter. Like, what did he say there? What did he say about with the emojis? It was something like, oh, I think he called him Baby Soft or something, and there was a
Yeah.
goofy emoji. But here's what it was. Meek Mill accused Drake of ghostwriting, which is a very serious offense in the rap world.
Unless you're Dr. Dre.
Yeah, it's saying that someone else wrote your rhymes.
Yeah, guys at
Big
the pinnacle
accusation.
of their career should not be having other people
So
write their rhymes.
Drake released a couple diss tracks. Meek did the same thing. Everybody's commenting on it. It's really goofy and weird. And like at one point, Meek Mill threatened Drake with a wedgie. Like this is the rap beef you get in 2015.
Yeah, emojis,
wedgies, and tweets.
Yeah, whatever have to shoot each other.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that because people did get killed.
That's the thing. At that OVO fest, I was like, a little bit of me, terrible,
don't say it.
but was like, please let this be Meek Mill related. Just because I wanted that like East Coast, West Coast, like let's get this thing on type thing.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Okay, tell me who won. Who won the beef?
For sure, Drake.
All right,
100%.
Next,
Yeah.
Drake.
Okay.
Oh, just read it. This is so bad. Just read it.
Hannah, is office air conditioning a sexist conspiracy?
Yes. No.
Yeah.
I read that. I saw this, and the first time I saw this article, it was on my Facebook feed. I thought it was like an Onion article, fake.
Yeah.
And then it just like kept showing up, and people were commenting on it. I'm like, this is real. So I read the whole thing, or most of it. I didn't get through it all, but it seemed it's saying that because women's body temperatures are colder in an office place, it's harder. Women are freezing at work, and men are comfortable, and that's sexist. That's makes it a part of the patriarchy.
How dare they be comfortable while I'm sweating?
I have two things I'd like to say to this. First of all, it is a lot easier for a woman to put a sweater on than it is for a man to start undressing.
Well, it's more acceptable.
It's more acceptable.
The guy can't just
But I
like
don't-
start
the
loosening his
acceptance
tie.
thing Yeah.
So like if you started loosening buttons right
You're showing
now,
chest hair.
I would be very uncomfortable.
But it would look
You
good.
should see the forest that lives
It
in
would
there.
look
It's disgusting.
So I think that firstly, it's easier for men
yes.
or for women to put a sweater on than for a man to undress.
Right.
Secondly, I don't see why a woman could not just go up to the air conditioner and turn the air conditioner down. Because then the worst case scenario is somebody would say, "Hey, I'm sweating.
Don't do that."
Turn it up." Well, say no.
Yeah.
Say no. I'm cold. You might get a battle, but I just have a feeling that the women who are complaining about this aren't actively attempting
It's
to change
office
the
politics.
temperature.
That's the
But it's like that. They're saying it's
So
like that everywhere
stupid.
you go, the air conditioner is too cold for women.
Yeah.
It's like so our climate is designed for men. I just want to remind people that when you're in an office, you're still working, right? You're being paid to work. Like when I go to work at my real job, it's so hot in there.
yeah.
It is so unbearable hot sometimes. But it's something I live with at work, and there are people who work in the freezing cold
Yeah.
all the time,
Yeah.
or people in other countries who don't have
This
safety.
is This just reeks of first world problems.
It's ugly.
Like, oh, we're having problems with our air conditioner. We just can't get it right.
Like some places don't even have
Give
air
me a break.
conditioners. It's a silly one. Next.
Anyway. I like this one. Well, kind
You
of.
like it.
The Senate blocks Planned Parenthood defunding measure.
This is all coming from the crunchy
Jed Bush.
baby fetuses that lady was talking about in that video.
Yeah.
There was a video. Some people organized an interview with people at Planned Parenthood.
Yeah. They posed as buyers.
Yeah, the goal was specifically to use it against Planned Parenthood, make them look bad because they want to shut it down. Because Planned Parenthood does abortions, and that's a lot of people are really against abortions. But in the video, it shows a woman talking about pulling like baby parts. And
Yeah.
it sounds and she's eating a salad and drinking wine. It sounds so gross, and she's got like
Yeah.
food in her mouth, and she's like
Holding her wine.
crunching fetuses. It's disgusting. But I have to remind people that just because it's disgusting doesn't mean it's not factual.
No, this is her 9 to 5. This is just what she.
That's her
That's why
job.
she can talk about it so nonchalantly.
Yeah.
Well, she does this every day.
It's probably it doesn't gross her out like it grosses us out.
No.
It is gross to listen to, but like not to.
There's
to her.
footage. You can look at footage too. One of the articles I was looking at, I got to one point where I was looking at footage of it. It was
Right. Now, there are a lot of people I said that want to get rid of Planned Parenthood and defund them.
right.
They do a lot of good.
Yes.
Right, and I will go, even though they do abortions, I will go as far as to say they do more to prevent more abortions than
I agree
anyone
with you. Yeah.
who is attacking them right now.
Yeah.
So
But
they're
it
very
is-
progressive in women's health issues and stuff like that.
It's still very scary. This story.
And the allegations were that they're taking money.
That's the problem. And right now, it's illegal. Well, it's probably all. Well, I shouldn't say that either. But right now, it's illegal to buy and sell human parts for profit.
Yes.
But you can be compensated for the
transporting.
transporting and the procedure costs.
That's what was going on.
Yeah. So it's a very gray area. And as it sits right now, this law can be changed like that. And Planned Parenthood could be effed.
Yeah, and
in
that
their
means
pee.
there's going to be more sexually transmitted diseases and more abortions because people won't have the contraceptives and all that stuff.
So stay tuned to this one. This is going to be an interesting one.
You should be on the side of Planned Parenthood in this one. You really should be, even if you're against abortions.
Way to tell them how to think, Nick.
I will. Okay, next, go.
Okay. Oh, this is sad. Rowdy Roddy Piper,
Oh.
WWF legend, dead at 61.
Rowdy Roddy Piper was like my mom's favorite when I was a kid. I think she had a crush on him.
From Saskatoon.
He's from Saskatoon. Roderick Toombs.
That's his name?
Roderick Toombs. He's not Scottish.
Oh.
Don't kid yourself. He used to fight under the name the Masked Canadian, right?
Really?
He was, in my opinion, I don't think he was ever that great of a wrestler. He was more of a character, a personality. They could bring him out there, and the people liked him, even though he was a bad guy. So he kind of sparked that whole attitude era of wrestling, in my opinion. Whereas, when I was a kid, wrestling, you were either bad or good, and everyone disliked the bad guys, and everyone really liked the good guys. Now wrestling is like you can be both. You can be both.
Yeah.
And that all kind of started at the end of Roddy Piper's career, and he was one of the first typically bad guys that good people, like the people who everyone liked. People were cheering for Roddy Piper over Hulk Hogan in their rivalries.
Really?
And Hulk Hogan was the most popular good guy, but people just liked. So he did the bad guy personality really well. Rip.
Bam.
Roddy Kruger. Roddy Piper. Roddy Kruger. Roddy Piper. Next.
Sad. Okay. The Puerto Rico debt crisis grows as island defaults.
Keep your eye on this one.
Yeah.
Because this is just happening in Greece. It's kind of happening in China right now. It could very well happen in Canada. We are in the middle of a recession. The second since Stephen Harper came into power. I don't want to make this political, but I just did.
You just did.
Yeah.
Bam.
What's going on is they owed a lot of money.
73 billion is what I heard.
Yeah. And they were supposed to pay it back August 1st, and instead of paying it all back, they just paid a pittance.
Yeah, and the defaulted on a very large portion of it.
America so far has said, no, we will not give you a bailout. And it makes it worse because a lot of Puerto Ricans, now that there's no jobs and there's no money, they're leaving and they're going to like Texas and stuff like that to get work.
Yeah.
So the Puerto Rico that I remember from my childhood is the Puerto Rico that the Rum Diary took place in, Hunter S. Thompson's second best book. It's like the Puerto Rico where Savio Vega was from and all my favorite baseball players. They that Puerto Rico seems to be no more. It's turning into another Detroit.
Yeah, well, really, except chapter Detroit can file for Chapter 9,
and Puerto Rico does not have that. Yeah.
No,
they don't.
They're
get
a territory,
the
but they're
What do they call it? It's called a protectorate. They don't get the same treatment as the states.
But that could change too.
When Cuba, a long time ago, Fidel Castro took over, America stopped the trade embargo. Cuba got hit really big with financial crisis. They did other things, like to counter that, they brought in more tourists. Like they opened the borders up for tourism and stuff. They started taking tariffs from other countries to do more trade with, and it helped them out big time for quite a while.
In the long run.
Yeah, Cuba was screwed.
Yeah.
And, we can trash Fidel Castro all the time. But he did make that country. I don't want to say that. I like some of the things he did, but he did turn that country around.
Yeah. I agree.
It was working for a while. So Puerto Rico, although they're not a country and they're just run by a governor, there are things that I think Puerto Rico could do that over the long run would solve this. And a lot of that is you need to up tourism. And I thought of the idea of putting a baseball team there.
That's not a bad idea. Or just reaching out to the baseball players in the MLB right now. Look at Carlos Beltran. Do you know what he made this year? He's got a 3-year, $45 million deal.
Yep.
Yadier Molina, 5-year, $75 million. Why don't you knock on some of these guys' doors? See if they can contribute a little bit to their home country.
See if they'll do it like a tour.
Yeah.
Playing...
Alex Rios made $11 million this year.
Get him to do a slow pitch tour. People have to come watch these guys play, and we can send the money to fix the economy.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll do that. But.
Yeah. Another interesting thing to watch about this too is that the Wall Street has a huge stake in Puerto Rican bonds.
Yeah, that's the difference.
As it sits right now, as it sits right now, the U.S. government said they're not going to help out, but I wouldn't be surprised if something
If
they
the
change their
pressure,
mind.
this could become an election issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it very well could be. Good
Yeah.
point. Yeah. Okay. So watch
That's it.
that one because we're going through austerity measures here in Canada. So let's just see how it works out with Puerto Rico. Ooh. Okay. Frick. Ronda Rousey porn parody. Ronda ArouseMe is in production.
I read about this. Ronda.
It has a tagline. Here's the tagline.
Let's hear it.
Grounded and pounded.
Ooh, perpetuating rape culture. I like Ronda Rousey as a fighter, even though I don't much care for the women's division. I just don't think the competition is there to give her good fights. She's just here's what Ronda Rousey.
You like watching women fight like that?
I have no problem with that.
Really?
If that's what they want to do, yeah. If you women want to fight, I'm more than happy to. I like watching.
You enjoy watching them fight.
Yes. Now, don't get me wrong. I prefer to watch because when I watch Ronda Rousey fight, it's always like her fighting against amateurs.
Yeah, she absolutely
and she
destroys
just destroys people in seconds. That to me is not nearly as enjoyable as watching two world-class athletes fight. Like, I think Ronda Rousey is a world-class athlete. I just don't think most of the competition she fights against is. So where Ronda Rousey's fighting against like Beth Correa last week, who was like 4-1 professional record.
Yeah.
That is to me not the equivalent of what the men are fighting for a title. These guys have to win 7 or 8 fights in the UFC alone to get a title shot in a row.
There's got to be somebody out there for her.
They say Cyborg. There's a girl. She's a girl named Cyborg. It's not a real name, but she's married to Cyborg, the guy fighter. Evangelista Santos is his name. I can't think of her name right now. She's really tough. She's supposed to be the one that can take on Ronda ArouseMe. They're the two. But anyways, the porn video is what we're talking about, not her fighting career.
Okay.
The porn video, Ronda ArouseMe is played by a girl named Cleo Valentine, all tatted up. I don't think she looks much like Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey is nasty looking.
I think she's just fine.
She looks like the monster from Goonies.
Oh, come on. And she's fighting against, or in the parody, she's fighting against Misha Taint. Not Tate.
Say that again?
Taint. As in,
like,
taint your asshole, taint your pussy. It's that spot in between. The perineum is what it's called.
Wow, they're getting creative these days.
And she's played by Joanna Angel. And they're going to probably have lesbian sex in an octagon. And people are going to watch this.
Yeah, probably.
In big numbers. I want to know what Ronda Rousey thinks of the video. She's kind of like an icon for women.
She's so huge right now. I don't think, it's going to be a big stink. People are going to be like, oh, they're degrading this big, powerful woman who's on top of the world. I don't think Ronda cares. I don't think Ronda's at home going, oh, God. They've degraded me. Yeah. She's like the toughest chick in the world.
You're gonna be honest with you, I don't want to speak on behalf of women, but if somebody made if people made like a porn parody about OMJ, I would love it.
Well, any exposure is good exposure at this point, Nick.
Yeah. But I would like to say that, and we can close on this note, although I think Ronda Rousey's a great fighter, and I think she's a nice-looking woman, and the woman playing her in the video looks like a very nice-looking woman. Neither of them could finish me in 34 seconds. Ooh. Boom.
Trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers. Yeah, you getting bodied by a singing nigga. I'm not the type of nigga that'll type of niggas. And shout to all my boss bitches, wife and niggas. Make sure you hit them with the prenup. Then tell that man to ease up. I did another one. You still ain't did shit about the other one. Got the drink in me going back to back. Yeah, going back to back. I got the drink.